Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're a regular on my channel, you may recall the video where I used InkTense pencils to paint the golden poppy that you see on the right hand side. Now the way that I painted that poppy, in case you didn't see the video, but you should, is that I swatched the pencils on a piece of scrap paper and then I used a damp brush to activate the color and to paint my painting as I do in watercolor. So here you see that I'm swatching the colors onto my paper. I do recommend that you not swatch them on the paper that you're going to be painting on, that you do use a scrap piece of paper, and it can be just about any kind of paper. I have lots of pieces of scrap watercolor paper that I prefer to use. And then after I show you this, I'm going to show you a different way to use the pencils to create a painting. It's not my favorite way, but I think that's simply because I'm so used to watercolors that I find applying the color the way that I'm showing you now is just easiest for me. So you can see I'm just picking up a little bit of water and I am activating the pencil where I have swatched it. And then I'm going to apply that color, and you can see how beautiful and vibrant it is, right onto my petal. And where I want it to be a little bit lighter, I can just pick up a little bit more water on my brush and I can blend it in, and it becomes softer where I have more water on my brush, and it remains brighter and a heavier consistency where I had less water on my brush. So now that I've applied the yellow and the petal is still wet, I'm picking up a little gold sienna, I believe it's called, and a little bit of orange to add the color where I see it in my reference photo. Now I did this really quickly because this wasn't showing you, this technique is not the purpose of this video, because I did a full tutorial on the golden poppy in a previous video. What I wanted to show you was another way to use these pencils. So I really sped through this and I used too much water. When it dried, it all blended together. But if you want to see how to do it right, take a look at the golden poppy video. So you can see I can even blend the colors right on my piece of paper. And because the petal is still wet, as I apply these colors, everything blends in nicely. I get some nice soft edges. I don't have any hard lines. So now I'm going to show you a different way to use these. And it's by simply applying the pencil directly on your painting. So I'm only going to do one petal for this demonstration, but you can see that I'm just applying the yellow over the entire petal. And I'm using very light pressure. It's important that you not press too hard with these pencils, because when you activate them, you will see the lines on the paper. So use a very light touch. And because these are permanent once they dry, you can add multiple layers and you can get as much vibrancy out of these colors as you like by simply applying more layers once the first layer is dry. So you can see I applied the yellow and now I'm applying the gold sienna and the orange. Now one thing that I find is very important is that when you use these pencils in this way and you're going to activate them with your wet brush, it's very important that you start in the lighter areas and you blend those into the darker areas. Instead of going from dark into the light, go from light into the darker color. Because if you go from the dark to the light, you're going to drag that darker pigment into the lighter pigment. So you can see here that I've started in the yellow areas and I'm wetting them down, softening that pencil. And you can see how quickly it activates and just how vibrant the colors are. And once I've activated the yellow, now I'm going into that the orange and the gold sienna. And I'm activating those colors, and you'll see that I clean my brush often because I want to make sure that I'm not dragging the darker color into the lighter colors. You can see how nicely everything blends together. This is a really fun way to use these pencils, especially if you're unsure of how to use them, or if you're unfamiliar with watercolor. This is a fun way to use these pencils. There's so many great things that you can do with them, and the colors are just so vibrant, and the fact that they become permanent and you can't budge them once they're dry. You might be able to use an eradicator brush to do a little lifting here and there, but for the most part it's permanent. And it doesn't disturb the layer underneath when you add another layer. It doesn't muddy up your colors when you're adding multiple layers, because you're not activating the layer underneath. So there you go. The colors are blended in. Now I want to add more orange. So I've used a dryer to dry that petal. You can't apply pencil on wet paper because it just doesn't work well. You will make a mess. So make sure that when you're adding a second layer, that your first layer is completely dry. So here you see me adding a little bit more yellow. I want it to be more vibrant. And then I'm going to add more of the gold sienna, I forget what it's called, and a little bit more of the orange. And then, as I did with the first layer, I will start to activate the yellow first and then move into the darker areas, and making sure that I clean my brush often so that I'm not transferring the darker color onto the lighter color. And you want to make sure that you work quickly because you want to keep a wet edge. If you don't, the color will dry and then you won't be able to blend it. That's why you see me constantly cleaning my brush. While you watch me finish up this petal, I'll remind you that I am no longer linking individual products used in the videos in the description box. Instead, I've opened up an Amazon store, and if you click on the link for the supplies used in this video in the description box, it will take you to my Amazon store. And if you click on the picture of the video that you've just watched, it will expand and you'll find all the products listed there with the price, and you can research them if you want to know more about them, or you can purchase them if you like. As I do earn a small commission on any products purchased through my links, but that comes at absolutely no extra cost to you. It's a wonderful way to support my channel, and as always, I appreciate it. So here we go, the finished petal. So here you have two ways of using the InkTense pencils. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you give these pencils a try. They're so much fun to work with. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you have any questions about anything you've seen here. I will always get back to you. And thanks for watching. All right, have a great day. Bye. I'll see you in the next one.